the last night or so. I have got to show you some of those pictures right now in terms of what we were looking at. Because, I mean, you look up into the skies, you see this, and you're like, what the heck? 5 million people live here. And obviously, we get plenty of clear, starry nights. The contrails is what you're looking at from the latest launch of a Falcon 9 rocket carrying those Starlink satellites into space. And guess who caught these great images for us? None other than Fox 10's John Hook on his dinner break. As of 2 weeks ago, did a little research here to let you know what's really going on. There are almost 7,000 Starlink satellites up there hanging out many miles above Earth, 6,994. And then every time there's a new launch, there are another 23 that are placed out into space. According to space.com, they orbit 340 miles above the Earth. And if you look up into the sky, you can often see them out there, almost looking like a distant string of pearls. Now, thank you to John for grabbing his phone or his camera and getting those pictures for us. Here is what it looked like. I thought this was really a cool view over downtown Phoenix. We got cameras all over the place downtown. And so that's what the contrails look like. And, you know, you expect a straight line, right, on their way to their destination, 300 miles above Earth. You can see the contrails shifting just a little bit last night. You know, it's a pretty new phenomenon. I mean, the project was first announced 10 years ago, 2015. Elon Musk said, we're really talking about something which is in the long term like rebuilding the internet in space. So the whole thing to me is, I mean, it's just fascinating. These things go off without a hitch. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for Fox 10 Talks, the streaming show that just continues the information for you. At 10 o'clock, we wrap up on TV, and then we just keep going with more info. And interesting, so they first filed, SpaceX did, with regulators for 4,000 satellites. Already now they have an okay for 12,000 of them to be up there. And each satellite provides about 176 square miles of internet coverage down here on Earth. So they still have quite a ways to go. But you know what? The images are cool. And especially when we got a John Hook. Oh, by the way, Syleste joins. Come on in, Syleste.
Hi, Ron.
And yeah, can't wait to get your take on this. Did you hear where this video comes from, Syleste?
Mars?
No. I mean, who took it?
Pluto, no, I'm kidding. Was it someone here at work?
It was.
Was
you really don't know?
No,
this is good.
Was it yours truly? You? Was it you?
It wasn't me.
Okay.
But it was one of our prominent Fox 10 people.
Oh.
Who do you suppose? Yeah, and it might be somebody who has a little bit of an interest in space and UFOs.
Space and UFOs.
Yeah. You know, here on the stream, who's our... You want a hint?
Yes, please.
It's not Tina Carilla.
Oh, John Hook.
Thank you very much. Now, Celeste, here's the great part about this video that John shot. Get this. He shot it on his dinner break.
Wow.
Which everybody knows. How long are those dinner breaks?
Does he ever stop working?
Correct.
I think he's one of the hardest working men in television. I was going to say you, Ron, are the hardest working men in television.
From what I understand, despite the rumors that he takes a longer dinner break, I think it's only 10 minutes.
I was thinking 8. Like, he is a fast eater as well. Have you seen that man eat?
Oh, no, I haven't. Have you?
I have.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, there's a backstory for a future episode of Fox 10 Talks.
By the way, Ron, it's good to have you back, buddy.
Thank you. Good to be back. I was out sick last week, and then yesterday I just, post-Super Bowl.
Yes,
what can I say? All right, Celeste, on to our next story. Now that we've covered and we've given John all the publicity he needs, my question for you, Celeste, is this. The odds are increasing, it seems like almost by the month. How long is that cord, Celeste?
I don't know.
Over there. Okay.
I'm getting a little feedback in my headphones.
Or are you getting the buzz too?
Yeah. Oh, you have the buzz?
Yes.
We're not buzzed, but we're getting the buzz.
Believe me, we got a crack team of engineers
on
it for later today.
Okay, just making sure.
I just want you to be aware, but don't be scared, that the odds that an asteroid that they are tracking up in outer space, as it hurtles in the direction of Earth, the odds that it's going to hit us just doubled according to scientists.
Okay, why is this?
Well, because we're helpless if an asteroid is... I mean, what was that movie where, they flew up to some asteroid and planted dynamite on it and blew it to bits before it could hit Earth?
We could do that, but we can't bring 2 astronauts home from the ISS. What's happening,
correct,
Ron?
Right, and we can't solve the bird flu either.
Oh, no.
All right, but anyway, here we go. So the scientists now... by the way, this is NASA animation, Celeste.
Okay.
So it's not actually coming at you right now. Don't be frightened, but the odds that it is going to hit Earth have been upped, and I'm not talking about it's 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000. Up until yesterday, the odds were 1 in 100.
Oh.
They currently updated them to 1 in about 40.
Can we fire like anything up there to destroy it? Or there's some people in the chat box talking about space junk.
Yes.
So I wonder if there's something we can do to just like slightly derail it from...
You mean like in the Canadian sport of curling?
Yes.
Where you hit the first, what do they call those devices?
Well, it's almost like, have you ever played bocce ball?
Yes, it's sort of like
it's
that.
It's like bocce ball.
Correct.
Like you want to hit the ball and, moves the other direction.
It's like you're shooting pool. Anyway, the odds, unfortunately, have doubled from 1.2% to 2.2%, so under 1 in 50. They still say the odds are better, that we're going to live.
Okay.
But they do say this is, they're keeping track of it, and hopefully it just brushes by.
Oh, wow.
And between now and 2032.
Is it expected to break like the atmospheric, layer within Ron?
What do we do about the atmospheric layer?
Is it expected to
What is that exactly?
Well, is it going to interrupt my morning sunrise, Ron? That's what I really want to know.
It'll make the sunrise of a lifetime, Celeste. Anyway, it's just interesting. It's an interesting take for everybody, and we're just going to keep an eye on it, because if they keep upping those odds and it's like... 1 chance in 10.
Yeah.
Then get ready to sell the house.
Let's get,
right. Although you don't know
where are we going to move, Ron?
I know. Yeah. Okay, Celeste, let's talk just a little bit about this story that has the whole country focused on the valley. This plane crash that was caught on camera yesterday. It's just heartbreaking.
It is.
It turns out it was owned by Vince Neil. And if you haven't seen the video, we will share some of that with you. But we're also going to hear from, I believe it's an eyewitness who was out there when this Learjet 35A, apparently it was coming in from Austin, Texas, crashed into a Gulf Stream that was parked at the airport. And as we say, owned by Vince Neil. He was not on board, but 2 pilots and 2 passengers were. Here's what they were saying out at the airport.
Coming down with the left main gear collapsed, the nose gear partially collapsed, and watched it slide up the runway from the center of the runway to the left. And we knew, based on the speed, that it's heading towards a building or something over here.
And there's maybe one of the most stunning pictures of all, where you can see just the front end of the aircraft just blown off as it came in. And who knows why that landing gear failed. The whole thing's really just very heartbreaking. But we were... you guys actually were talking to TMZ about it on the morning show.
Yeah. Usually TMZ, they cover big celebrity. Obviously, this is the connection to the lead singer of Motley Crue. That was his plane. His girlfriend was on board, her friend, their dogs. Sadly, the pilot died. And so they're covering it because obviously with the Motley Crue connection, they're looking into it as well. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the pilot. But that's pretty scary. I put this in the chat box, Ron. I said with 4 plane crashes in the U.S. in the last couple of weeks, folks are kind of chatting about this now, I feel like, within their friends and family circles. Does it make you a little nervous to fly?
What are people saying?
And I just posted right now, Leo Mack says, I don't live in fear, not when I have faith and life beyond this. He's a Christian, so now I'm not afraid to fly.
We always get such good perspective
we
from Leo Mack.
do.
By the way, here is what TMZ told us this morning.
Okay.
One of the jets belonging to Vince Neil, who is the lead singer of the rock band Motley Crue. We reached out to Vince's manager, and luckily he was not on the jet. However, his girlfriend Rain and her friend Ashley, along with a few of their dogs, were. And so essentially what happened was this jet had landed on the runway and veered off of the course, colliding with a parked jet in its way. Unfortunately, the pilot of this jet, belonging to Vince Neil, was killed tragically. However, Rain, his girlfriend, sustained 5 broken ribs. Ashley was okay, and the dogs were okay too. So minor injuries, and nobody was on the other jet on the runway.
Obviously, the big question will be how could the landing gear have collapsed?
Yeah.
And the NTSB's already on it. We're going to find out a lot more. Celeste, another story that people are talking about is we now have the Gulf of America.
Have you seen it on your maps? I looked at it last night.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I noticed it as well.
Right.
And I think Apple Maps has not done it yet, but I think Google Maps has.
Okay.
But the transition is supposed to be happening soon.
So here's the interesting thing. If you're in Mexico and you go and
Yes.
look, it still says Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
And other places around the world, you might get Gulf of America or you might get Gulf of Mexico. And the whole thing has led to our poll question, Celeste. And it looks like this.
Yes.
Oh, wow. 200 votes already. Okay. What do you think? Do you like the change? 44% say no. There was no reason to change it. 27% say, yeah, I like it. I was glad to see it. And then almost 30% say yes, but it should be changed on all maps.
Yeah.
So you can join the conversation either in the chat box or by voting in the poll question, and we'll just kind of continue to monitor. Obviously, people have pretty strong feelings if we're already over 200 votes.
Yeah, people feel strongly about this, I think.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, Ron?
I kind of like it,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is names do change. Remember what originally was Hoover Dam got changed to Boulder Dam.
Oh, yeah.
And that politics were involved in that one.
Yes. And by the way, I passed through Hoover Dam over the weekend.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
Did you ever go through this
Beautiful
town?
place.
Celeste, it's our mystery cam of the day. You guys. And welcome back, Mystery Cam. We've been passing along a lot of jokes during our 2-minute break, and we haven't really analyzed
let's see.
picture.
Oh, there's a train. So I'm going to guess somewhere along the Route 66.
Oh, good.
Okay.
All right.
Where would it be rainy, though?
After all, if it's a railroad, it's Route 66, which is a highway. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No,
I was
that's
thinking
fine.
of Flagstaff, but that's not Flag.
Which part of Route 66 are you thinking?
It goes all the way east, right?
Well, it goes to Chicago.
Okay, so I'm going to go what Midwestern city, let's think.
You can just choose a state.
Nebraska?
Okay, Nebraska.
I'll go
Excellent.
Nebraska.
Okay. I see it to be a little hillier than Nebraska.
Okay.
So here's Tyler with a Rhode Island. We do get a lot of Rhode Island guesses.
We have a Georgia.
Yeah. Linda is saying South Carolina.
So I'm going to look up, because before we even showed the shot, Ron, I think it was Lisa. She goes, Mystery Cam will be the state of Kentucky. LOL, said my husband. Seems how we never get it. And they voted before we showed the image.
Okay. Well, the funny thing about it is that it's snowing across most of Kentucky. So I'm going to go a little further south, but someplace where it's still raining. I'll say Tennessee. Well, and so your guess is
my guess is Nebraska.
Here she is, everybody.
That's such like a wild.
Here.
Oh, Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Oh,
who
is
said
that
Georgia?
right?
We had some Georgia guesses
Somebody
in here.
said Georgia.
Leo Mack said Georgia.
Leo.
Sherry Nevada Pup said Georgia.
Wow. This is good. Okay. So that's our Mystery Cam. Now let's go to the Snow Cam. Celeste, are you ready for this?
Let's go for it, buddy.
Okay. Snow Cam on 23. This is what they're dealing with right now in Kentucky.
That is why. And this must be a huge storm, because there is a storm system kind of making its way towards Wisconsin and Chicago as well.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, just look at the cars on the street to the right that were parked, who knows, 20 minutes ago, hour ago. And they all have snow covering them right on their roofs. And then there's plenty of snow on the roof of these buildings as well. That's Ashland, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. But I have a little tour for you of our other locations. Look at West Virginia. Did you get that moment in the Super Bowl where they sort of spontaneous tried to get everybody to sing Almost Heaven, West Virginia?
Yes, and it was Rocket.com. That's what it was,
Oh, is
Ron.
that what it was?
It was an ad during the Super Bowl that talked about home ownership and like the American dream of home ownership. Right. And then it transitioned into the stadium. I thought it was a beautiful time because you have everybody singing together.
And you know what's kind of cool about it? I love those beautiful moments interrupting a football game.
Yeah, you do.
But the cool thing about it is Almost Heaven, West Virginia. This has become like a theme when we play NFL games like over in London or other locations around the world as almost like an American anthem.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I think that's part of it as well.
West Virginians must be very proud to know that that is the case.
Oh, I love West Virginia. Here is... let's take a look. All right, that is Lynchburg, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're really getting snowed in.
Home of Liberty University. I once interviewed the founder of Liberty University in Lynchburg, Jerry Falwell.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Name. There's a great documentary about that, by the way.
Yeah, his son kind of runs the show now.
Yes, he does. You're right.
Yeah, so anyway, there we go with... you can see West Virginia, and there is Virginia. I think we might even have one more. Let me go take a look here on our next graphic. Maybe, maybe not.
We can just say, just admire this photo right here.
Right, yeah.
Looks good.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. We often quote Meatloaf here on the stream.
Oh, yeah, we do.
All right, Celeste, on to...
I love Meatloaf.
So
good.
Yeah. He was really a cool guy.
Uh-huh. Extra ketchup, though, Ron. Extra ketchup.
He came out here years ago for okay, what are we talking about? Are you talking about the meat or the guy?
I'm talking about both,
okay.
But I do love Meatloaf.
He did come out here, and he pitched for us. We used to do a celebrity softball tournament out in Scottsdale. This was like 25 years ago.
Yes.
And he came out every year from L.A., He loves baseball.
Yes.
And he was the pitcher, and he was just a cool dude.
Oh, that's right. And he was like saying hi to everybody and everything.
Yeah, he was really great. Okay, so we have the video now in from, ready? This, Celeste, I thought was so interesting. J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance, and they brought their kids to France. It's husband and wife, the Vances, arriving in France. And you can see right there, you got somebody all set to go with the umbrella. He's over there to talk about AI. The U.S. has the approach of let's not go crazy, Europeans, with all the regulation. Let's, mostly allow it to thrive and see where it goes. Oh, this is kind of cool. There's Emmanuel Macron and his wife awaiting for the arrival of the Vances right there. Anyway, he's been giving his speeches today and says that they want to make sure that AI systems developed in the U.S. are free from any kind of ideological bias.
Yes.
There's more of a tendency to maybe overregulate in Europe, and so I think they're going to be there to kind of push back on all of that. And the U.S. wants to win the AI race and not China, because I'm not sure how far along Europe might get kind of caught in the middle.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Ron, you're a big fan of AI. You use the technology quite often.
Do I?
Yeah. What was the you remember?
Bing.
Bing.
Yes.
You use that.
I've used that a few times, then I've even tried out the one called Gemini.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've used ChatGPT.
Oh, how does that work?
That works amazing. You just put a little prompt in there.
Yeah.
But, that is kind of like the forward movement in all types of technology.
Yes.
Getting robots to do things and assistants, artificial intelligence. So
I know.
that's a big meeting of the minds.
Yes, it is. So we're going to watch to see what comes out of it. Where will we be a year from now? I guess we'll all find out. So, Celeste, your thoughts on the Super Bowl? If you had to put it in one word, the Super Bowl.
Oh, one word.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
What's your overall reaction?
Relieved.
Okay. That's a pretty good word, Celeste. Tell us why.
Okay, so I do like Kansas City,
Yeah.
but I thought it was time for a new team to win. And I am a fan of Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
And I am a fan of the coach.
Okay.
And I thought, hey, why not give these guys a chance?
Right.
And so I actually was just looking for a good game. How many times have we had blowouts for Super Bowls? And I just wanted there to be a good game.
Me
Back
too.
and forth, whatever, small score, big score, as long as it was like good, good football on both sides.
Right.
Unfortunately, that didn't really happen. But it was crazy to watch how many times Mahomes was sacked.
Oh, my. I thought there were a couple of times I thought he's not getting up from that hit.
Right.
And yet he did.
He did. And a couple of times it happened like in a row. It was like he went down and then the next one he went down again.
By the way, New Orleans is a great city to go visit. Yes, you've got the French Quarter and Bourbon Street. You got the Superdome. But you also have the World War II Museum, which is amazing to go spend some time at. Anyway, the ratings are in.
Okay.
I'm sure you were wondering, what are we going to talk about this?
It kept me up all night wondering, Ron, what were the ratings?
126 million viewers, even though it was a blowout. It just shows you how much people love football. So that's across Fox TV, Fox Deportes, Telemundo, and Tubi.
I am so glad you mentioned that because we were actually driving back from Vegas. We had a football tournament, our son.
Yeah.
He put on the Tubi app. We connected it to the car. We watched it. It might have gotten like a little hiccup because of Wi-Fi, maybe like twice in the 4.5, 5 hour drive.
Right.
But from Vegas to Phoenix. But that's how we were able to watch. And Ron, sometimes you watch online and the commercials don't come through.
Mm-hmm.
All the commercials came through on Tubi. It was like you were sitting at home.
It's a one time of the year you want to watch every commercial.
I know. Well, did you have a favorite commercial?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
It was a tie between Seal singing on the Rock, which was hilarious, and the Harrison Ford commercial.
Oh, where he mouths.
Yes, I love my Jeep, even though my name is Ford.
And he went mouthed it. I had a couple of faves. One was the Hellman's mayonnaise. Where it was like Harry Met Sally, that whole thing. And And then the other one, I just was a little quick thing. It was right when it was going to halftime, and it was the Potty Tunity by Angel Soft toilet paper. And they're like, now's your Potty Tunity. I thought, oh, that's kind of cute.
Right, yeah. So it is interesting that Tubi did that, by the way, for free.
Yes.
If there are any other networks out there watching this morning who think it's a good idea to put playoff games on their streaming platform,
yeah,
I think you know who I'm talking about. They did it last year.
I
Don't get me
know.
started. It's better to have it. The Super Bowl needs to be out there for everybody to watch, not as pay-per-view.
Yeah, everyone.
Thank you. Jalen Hurts is a cool guy, Celeste.
Yes, he is.
Your story this morning that he is still living in his little 2-bedroom apartment across the river over in Jersey from Philly, even though he's, worth mega millions now. He's not letting it go to his head.
I think it's great. I mean, less to clean, less mess. You know, all you need is a small kitchen, put together your grub for dinner.
Right.
He's got a girl, he's got a fiance.
Right. And he's got buddies who could help him carry the couch downstairs.
Right.
Because he probably got a second floor unit. I don't know, but I'm guessing.
And I'm guessing it also includes the fitness center at the front of the clubhouse.
Maybe so.
What if you rolled into the apartment clubhouse and Jalen Hurts was sitting there in front of the big screen watching like the World Cup? You're like, what's up, Jalen?
Right.
I
could just see him when he's first deciding which apartment complex he's going to. Whoa, you guys got a gym?
Yeah.
You got some free weights?
Sold.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, one last story here as we get ready to wrap it up. Celeste, have you seen this fish yet? Stand by. Hold on here. Oh, now I'm getting a VO8. Now, hold on. No, hold on, everybody. Don't worry. Don't anybody worry.
Okay, we're not worried, Ron.
Okay, it's over there on 10.
Oh, my goodness.
So
if you're in the chat box, you need to give us your thoughts on this.
Correct. Stare at your screen for just a minute.
This is a real fish.
Yeah, this is a deep sea. It's called an angler fish. And they live off the coast of Africa. And normally they live thousands of feet below the ocean surface. The craziest thing is he comes, apparently they all do, with their own little beacon on top of their head. I don't know if that's to warn other fish nearby or what, but look at those choppers.
That is a face only a mother could love.
Yeah.
And Ron, the idea that he doesn't close his mouth.
Right.
I thought he had fish apnea.
Correct.
I'm like, what is happening?
So apparently we have mouth breathers, not just amongst humans, but in the fish world too.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe we already have to say our goodbyes?
Already?
Yes.
Thank you to everybody hanging with us in the chat box and on YouTube. Have a great